Tell us something which most people do not know about you.
Oh my God, that's a hard question. Most people do not know about me. I'm a pretty open book, actually. So that's one of the things that I think people who have worked with me and work with me say, so I think you can, maybe you wouldn't obviously see it, but my face tells a lot, and it's a pretty good reflection of my soul. I'm one of those people. And I think one thing that maybe a lot of people don't know is that I'm a strong believer that there are new ways of managing and leading than I think the ones that I have seen being used many times in my career. I'd like to refer to a professor that I had at Harvard. Her name is Frances Frye, who uses this methodology, or it's a triangle that she says that are really critical factors in leadership. If I remember them correctly, it's 1, authenticity; 2, empathy; and 3, logic, and basically ability to do what you do, to execute, to think, to put your mind and develop interesting solutions. And I think that I came from working on Wall Street, having worked with many different kinds of people, many who don't put people at the center.
Yeah.
And I think that leadership is changing, and I hope it does, because of course it's critical to meet results, to deliver on the goals, to shift, if you can deliver on the goals, to shift your strategy, to be as good as you can be in what you do. But it's the way you do it that also matters a lot, not only to you, to the company, but to the people around it. Because I think what we haven't done well is measuring the impact on people of them being employees in a company, or we don't measure that. We measure everything by financial results. And I come from finance, and I think that's important. I have seen many times when people leave companies and are very destroyed because of management styles, leadership styles. And I think that's a pretty bad outcome for an organization. And if we would measure things a little bit differently, then we would lead differently. And I think that's something that I'm very passionate about and hope to at least bring across in the work that I do.
Thank you. That's lovely and beautiful as well, because I have been in the corporate world as well, and I've seen that kind of leadership. I have myself been that kind of a leader, because nobody teaches you leadership, right? You learn it from the people who manage you, and then there are very few or very rare good examples. And what you shared earlier also about creativity, about that dynamism, that is so much missing in leadership. It can become too focused on performance or results or those KPIs that we miss the human element. And I think there's a lot to be learned from the feminine side of humanity there, to listen, to understand, to relate, and then everything else comes, right? It's a paradox, but sometimes by slowing down and focusing on those relationships, we can make stronger companies and we can produce better results than by just focusing on the results themselves.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a person come to work and being fearful, scared about the reaction of the manager or the boss, insecure about what he or she's bringing to the table, you may not listen. You may not get to listen to really great ideas that can change the outcome of a project. You may not get to experience a great team environment that can actually create different outcomes. So I think there's much more to be done on that side still in the world of business today.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm glad that you are playing a small role in that transition. Right. So thank you for sharing that.